Hello, and welcome back to the Language of Leadership with Chuck Marting. Over the past week, I've been diving into a lot of studying. I've been exploring different topics and reflecting deeply on what I'm striving to achieve in my own leadership journey. So during this process, I found myself returning to an incredible book, and that's Greatness by Dr. David L. Cook. In the very first chapter, Dr. Cook identifies three powerful predictors of success. And those are focus, passion, and mental toughness. He explains that when these three elements are combined, they become the pillars of greatness. And later in the book, he introduces a fourth pillar, one rooted in selfless variables of greatness. But for now, let's focus on the first three. So, reading this, I had to pause and I had to ask myself some tough questions. Am I truly ready to reach my full potential? Am I bringing my best effort every day, especially when it matters most? And also, when I stumble, is it because I'm missing a piece of this performance puzzle, focus, passion, and mental toughness? I know it's not due to poor strategy, inadequate training, or even a lack of technique. What I've come to realize is that in this mental game, it's about finding clarity, not just for myself, but for my leadership, my team, and then the impact I want to make. Even as someone who has spent years coaching, mentoring, and training leaders, I'm reminded again and again that leadership is a journey of continual growth, rediscovery, and refining your why. So over the past couple weeks, like I said, certain experiences have pushed me to refocus and reconnect with what my why is. And these are the moments that have been challenging, but they've also been deeply valuable. So as we move through today's episode, I'm going to share with you my journey with this, but I'm hoping that it will inspire you to reflect on your own path as a leader, because leadership at its core is about growth and resilience. Now, let's look into today's topic, the greatest predictors of success that have been inspired by Dr. Cook's work. And we're going to explore these essential questions. Where do you want to go? How bad do you want to get there? And do you have the mental skills to handle the adversity along the way? To bring these questions to life, I can think of no greater leader who I've studied for a long time, and I feel can help us in answering these three pillar questions of greatness posed by Dr. Cook. We're going to look at the remarkable story of Andrew Carnegie. He's a leader whose journey embodies these principles, so let's get started with this. First, let's look at the first question, or the first pillar of greatness, and that is, where do you want to go? It's the focus. Success begins with a vision. And Andrew Carnegie didn't start as a wealthy industrialist. He was born into poverty in Dunfermline, Scotland in 1835. His family immigrated to the United States when he was just 13 years old, and they settled in Allegheny, Pennsylvania. And they did so in a search of a better opportunity for their family and for Andrew Carnegie. But from a young age, Andrew Carnegie had an extraordinary sense of where he wanted to go. He envisioned a life far removed from the millwork and the factories where he was toiling. He wasn't content to just be a worker. He saw himself as a creator of opportunities, wealth, and also progress. His clarity of vision was his compass. So by the time he was a teenager, Andrew Carnegie was working as a bobbin boy in a textile factory, and he was earning about $1.20 a week. Despite his grueling work schedule, he spent his free time reading and self-educating. He knew his destiny. and it was to rise above his circumstances and create something greater. For us as leaders, the first step is asking, where do I want to go? Are your goals clear? Do you have a vision that is so compelling enough to guide your decisions? Like Andrew Carnegie, clarity of purpose isn't just a nice to have. It's essential. So my tip for you is to take time to write down your vision. Andrew Carnegie famously said, if you want to be happy, set a goal that commands your thoughts, liberates your energy, and inspires your hopes. So what's your goal? Does it excite you enough to move mountains? I'm going to move on to the second pillar, and that is, how bad do you want to get there? It's the passion. You see, once Andrew Carnegie set his sights on success, he became relentless in his pursuit. Early in his career, he worked as a telegraph messenger boy, which exposed him to businesses around the world. He memorized Pittsburgh streets and practiced telegraphing at night. And his dedication paid off when he was promoted to be the telegraph operator. Andrew Carnegie's hunger to succeed, it was unmatched. He used every opportunity to net influential people, including Thomas A. Scott of the Pennsylvania Railroad. He and Scott became very close. In fact, Scott became his mentor. He taught Andrew Carnegie about the railroad industry and investments. Carnegie didn't just stop with that success, but he was willing to overcome and outlearn anyone to achieve his dreams. This relentless drive is what separates dreamers from doers. It's one thing to have a goal, but how badly do you want to achieve it? And Andrew Carnegie's story reminds us that success requires sacrifice and unshakable commitment to keep moving forward. In a real-life reflection, let's think about the moments in our own lives where we've pushed past comfort zones. Andrew Carnegie invested his first savings, just $500, in the Woodruff Sleeping Car Company. At that time, it was a risky move, but it paid off. It set the foundation for his later ventures. And how willing are you to take calculated risks for the sake of your vision? The last pillar that we're going to talk about is, do you have the mental skills to handle adversity along the way? And that is mental toughness. No success story is without obstacles. And Andrew Carnegie faced plenty. From economic downturns to labor disputes, he learned that resilience wasn't optional. It was mandatory. One of Andrew Carnegie's toughest challenges came during the Homestead Strike of 1892. It was a violent labor conflict, and it tarnished his reputation. Now, while the strike was a dark chapter, it demonstrated the immense pressure he faced as a leader. And despite the fallout, Andrew Carnegie didn't let adversity define his legacy. He pivoted, he refocused, ultimately became one of the most influential philanthropists in history. The mental skills to handle adversity, resilience of adaptability, and emotional intelligence are critical. You see, Andrew Carnegie developed these skills through self-reflection and relentless learning. He believed in turning every failure into a stepping stone. So when adversity strikes, how do you respond? Do you see obstacles as barriers or as opportunities to grow? See, Andrew Carnegie's life teaches us that the greatest predictor of success isn't avoiding adversity. It's thriving in the face of it. So build your mental toughness by reframing setbacks as opportunities. Andrew Carnegie once said, "The men who have succeeded are men who have chosen one line and stuck to it." So stick to your vision. even when the road gets tough. So Andrew Carnegie's story, I encourage you, if you haven't read his biographies, there's many out there, find one and read and learn about this great leader, because his story is a testament to the 3 predictors of success and the pillars of growth that David L. Cook talks about. And that is knowing where you want to go, wanting it bad enough to work for it, and developing the mental skills to handle the adversity. As leaders, these principles apply to every area of our lives. They're the bedrock of us achieving success and sustaining it. So as we close this episode, I challenge you to reflect. Where do you want to go? How bad do you want to get there? And are you ready to handle inevitable challenges along the way? Andrew Carnegie again once said that no man will make a great leader who wants to do it all himself or get all the credit for doing it. Success is a team sport, and leadership is the ultimate test of vision, commitment, and resilience. So I want to thank you for joining me today in the language of leadership. If this episode resonated with you, share it with somebody who could use a dose of inspiration today. And until next time, stay focused, stay determined, and keep leading with vision. Take care.